Bani, and I'm the host of the Innovator Series brought to you by Technology for a Bum. And I'm here with Reid Hoffman today, who is the founder and chairman of LinkedIn. Great pleasure to be with you, Reid.
Great pleasure to be here.
So Reid is one of the most important kind of entrepreneurs and minds in the Valley. He, besides being chairman and founder of LinkedIn, he was the first money into Facebook. He is a partner at Greylock. He's on the board of a number of successful companies like Zynga, and he will be receiving the David Packard medal coming soon, so congratulations.
Thank you.
So I thought it might just be helpful, because you've had enormous success in a lot of things. I thought maybe you could just spend a little time on some of the things you've done and kind of how you got to where you are today.
Well, most technology entrepreneurs inherently love technology. I'm a little different than that, in that I've always wanted to figure out how do I change society on a large scale for the better. Now, many entrepreneurs want that too, but that was my goal, and technology is only a tool, not something that I'm inherently in love with.
And you started out actually thinking education was your path.
Yes, I actually thought that I would become a professor, and I would become a writer, and that I would generate ideas and simply talk and write about them. And then I realized that that wasn't going to have enough impact. And so when I was doing philosophy at Oxford, which is kind of a crazy, different thing from what I'm doing now, I realized that creating software was one of the things that for those geeks in the audience, it's almost like the Star Wars mitochondrians. It's the way that we communicate with each other, the way that we talk to each other. I mean, this was all pre-Facebook, but it's a question of how our identity is and how are we kind of bound together in a network and community.
And what was the first big, I mean, you were at Fujitsu and then you were at Apple. Where was the first big, like, oh my God, this is, an amazing time we live in?
Well, I think I'd been lucky because I went to Stanford as an undergraduate, and so I already knew about kind of the entrepreneurial community, but I think that it was probably 97 when I realized that the consumer internet was going to completely transform how everybody lived their lives. And Netscape and Yahoo had already been going, but it was like, okay, this isn't just going to be a new media form. It's going to be a new way that we all navigate our lives. And as part of that, how do I help contribute something that makes society better as a function? And so all of my ideas have been in the lines of how we come together as a network, as a community, and how we're both successful as individuals, but also successful together as individuals in a whole network. And that was part of what led me to LinkedIn, years later.
Yeah, so maybe give a quick story on the story of LinkedIn.
So, well, there's
not a quick story.
Yes, exactly. It's all of these things, as you know, having done this dance many times yourself. The short answer is when I create an idea, I look at how the world's changing and how technology is enabling new possibilities. And what I realized was that the world of work is changing. The way that people lead their careers, the way that people invest in themselves, the way that people can essentially do business more effectively, and that the internet allowed that to magnify. And even today, like most people think, okay, LinkedIn, it's mostly jobs. Yes, it's a job site, and yes, it helps with the transformation of how you do a career, but it's also things like business intelligence. It's also how do I find expertise? How do I find the resources in order to get a task done? And by being out there, you can find the right person much quicker, reducing risk, accelerating time, taking control of your work and of your career. It's possible that was fall of 2001, sold PayPal to eBay in 2002, realized the time was now, took 2 weeks off rather than a year, started the company.
Yeah, well, it's one of the great successes, and I actually just, as you know, just switched to a new job, and it was funny, I was talking to someone, I said, well, logically, the way I announced it was I just changed my title in LinkedIn, and
yes.
The person's like, well, that just speaks to the new world we're in.
Yes.
So, Reid, it's such a pleasure being with you, and thank you so much for the time.
Likewise, thank you.